Welcome to the Brass and Woodwind Shop. When you're working on a saxophone, it's helpful to know the names of the keys. This is a Bundy saxophone, and all the manufacturers are slightly different, but the keys look pretty much the same and they have the same names, so it's not really that hard to figure out. We'll start at the top of the saxophone. This is the neck octave key, and saxophones have two octave keys. The other one is right here, and that's the body octave key. On the back of the saxophone is the octave lever, and that controls the octave keys. So when you push this down, one or the other of the octave keys opens. If you push down only the octave lever, just the neck octave key opens up. Then if you press the G key, it works this rocker, and then the body octave key opens up and the neck octave key closes. At the top of the saxophone there are the three palm keys, and they're called that because you play them with the palm of your hand. Top one is the high F key. Next one down is the high E flat key. Then the next one down is the high D key. And if you're wondering where the high E key is, it's right here. And that one's the long key that's played with the palm of the right hand. Most modern saxophones and professional saxophones have another key up top, the high F sharp key, and that one has a long rod that goes down most of the length of the saxophone and is played by a lever right here. Then there's this funny little key here that controls the high F key, and that's called the high F auxiliary rocker, and that's controlled by the high F auxiliary lever right here. Continuing our way down the saxophone are the left hand keys, and they go pretty much in chromatic order. There's the high C key, and you call that a high C to differentiate from the low C key, which is down here. There's the high C key, then the B key. Next one down is called the B flat key or the B flat bis key, and normally your finger does not rest on this key. Next down from there is the A key. Next down is the G key, and we already showed you that one. That switches the octave mechanism if you have the octave key depressed. And then there's a tab that controls the B flat key, and this runs from here to here, so that when you push down any of the right hand keys, the B flat key goes down. This is the G sharp key, which is controlled by the G sharp lever on the left hand. On this saxophone, the G sharp key is connected to the right hand keys, but on many saxophones, the G sharp key is connected to the left hand keys, but it's pretty much the same thing. It all works the same. Now I'm going to turn the saxophone around to show you the Pinkie keys, and these are played with the pinky on the left hand. There's a G sharp lever that I already showed you. Then there's a C sharp, which controls the C sharp key right here. And next to the C sharp key is the low B key, which controls the low B key on the bell. Next to the low B key right here is the low B flat key. And if you notice, when you play any of these keys here, the G sharp key goes down with it. Most saxophones have the bell keys on the other side, but this is an older saxophone, so it has the bell keys on the left side. Some of the really old saxophones have one key on each side, and they call those the clapper models because it looks like they're clapping when you play them. And now the right hand keys. They're the three pearls that you put your fingers on, and those are the F, E, and D keys, and any of those keys control the one above that, which is the F sharp key. And the F sharp key has a little tab on it that in turn closes the G sharp key right here, and also the B flat key up here. And the right hand also controls all these keys. There's again the high E key, I showed you that earlier. There's a side C lever which controls the side C key right here. There's a side B flat key. And a lot of models have a lever here similar to this, which controls a little key similar to this one. They're just slightly different setups, but they accomplish the same thing. This one here is a side F sharp key. It's played with that finger, just like that. Now we're down to the bottom of the saxophone. These two keys are played with the right hand pinky. There's the E flat key and then the low C key. You may have noticed I used three different words to describe these. There's a lever, a key, and a rocker. First of all is the key. The keys all have pads on them. If it doesn't have a pad on it, it is not a key. It is a lever or a rocker. This part is a lever, and it's called a lever because there's no key on it, and it just controls the other keys. And then this is called a rocker. It's controlled by a lever, but it doesn't have a key on it, so it's a rocker. There are only two rockers on most saxophones, the octave rocker and then the auxiliary high F rocker. Different saxophones have different amount of levers and even a different amount of keys. Most saxophones without the high F sharp key have 24 pads on them, and with the high F sharp key they have 25. And then there are a few rare saxophones with more than that. Sometimes they might have another key controlled by the octave mechanism. They might have another G sharp key on the side. A lot of really old saxophones have a resonance key in the back right here, but that hasn't been done in about 80 years. Then quickly, the body parts of the saxophone. There's the neck, Then where the neck goes in, on the saxophone it's called the socket, on the neck it's called a tenon. And this part is called the bow, and this part is called the bell. These are called key guards, and these ones are soldered on, but usually they're screwed on. These black things here are called rollers. Up at the top there's the neck screw. I hope this video has been helpful. Please feel free to subscribe and check in the description below for links to some of my other repair videos.